Hey church, my name is Mike Tarquine. I am the leader of traditional worship and director of choirs here at Tavares Community Church. And I'm going to tell you a quick version of my story of my walk with Christ. I grew up in the church. I was one of those young people who was at church every single Sunday. And as I grew older and got into college and got out of my own home, I found myself drifting away from Christ. In that time away, I found much more fulfillment in the material things of life. And I got married and I started having a family and was working and finding ways to get further and further ahead, not being there for my family, not being the kind of person that I would today consider myself to be, really only looking out for myself. And I had a situation happen to me. You know, they say you find God when you need him, not, you don't always go looking when you think everything is going great. But I was working at my job and we were traveling for work, and the plane had a mechanical problem, and we were for 20 minutes fighting to keep that plane in the air. And I prayed at that moment for God to step in. And I said, like we all do when we have this kind of situation happen, if you get me through this, I promise I am going to be a better person, and I will do things that will redeem the terrible person I had become after walking away from the church. And we pulled out of that. We landed. I went to the hotel. I called my wife and told her what happened. And when I got off the phone with her, and 20 minutes later, she texted me and said, there's a position with the school system. And I knew that was God saying, you told me if I got you out of this, you were going to change. And he immediately opened an opportunity for me that I stepped into. And from that moment on, it opened my walk up with Christ, back to church, new job, focusing on my family, my wife, my kids, and most importantly, focusing on my relationship with God and what I could do as a person to help spread the word, help spread what God wants us to be to others. And from that moment on, it changed my life. I am not perfect by any means, but I look to that moment in my life as a change for good. Jesus answered those prayers for me at that moment and allowed me to step back into my walk with Christ. So that's my story.